A ring sling is a very, very basic thing. You've got 2 rings, and then basically it's just a long shawl, and you wear it on one shoulder. It's kind of like pastry dough. There's only 4 ingredients in pastry, but it can be, there's so many variations and possibilities, and sometimes you get it right and sometimes you don't, but the more you practice, the better you'll get, and it'll come really naturally after a few tries. So the first thing you want to do is get it threaded. I like to bring it around and have it on my shoulder and then just put the tail through. So this is your upper rail and your lower rail. The shoulder, it's gathered. You can bring it up and scrunch it all up on top of your shoulder, or you can let it cup your shoulder and kind of fan out, whatever's more comfortable for you. Just play with it. So you want to gather this up evenly so that it's not getting twisted and bound up and wrinkled up in the rings, because that'll make adjusting it more difficult. And then you just thread it through both the rings, just like you would a D-ring belt. And again, just make sure that it's not twisted, because it's just going to be so much easier to adjust. So my upper rail is closer to my, has come through here, and it's by my right hand. The lower rail is farther away out towards my left hand. You don't want to flop them over. When you're using this, you don't have to get it really loose and then really tight, because you're going to be holding a baby and trying to deal with all that fabric. So really, just leave yourself just as much slack as you need to get the baby in and out. Something that's nice to do is make the lower rail a bit shorter than the upper rail, and that will create a pocket, and that's where your baby's bottom would go. So you can adjust the rails independently of each other. When there's weight in the sling, it forces the 2 rings to pinch together and lock the tail in, so you're not going to get any slippage in here. So if you do want to adjust, you need to pick up the baby's weight, and then you can make your adjustments. If it's really hard, you could separate the rings. And actually, when you want to loosen it up a little bit, just hold the baby, take the visible ring, and lift it up, and then you can loosen it. So there you go. It takes a little practice. You want to start with a willing, cooperative baby. Feed the baby, change the baby, get a happy baby, and then practice if you're just starting out. If baby is fussing a lot and not liking it, you can go for a walk and kind of bounce and get him settled in, and sometimes the tightness can be something that they get used to. Safety-wise, you do want to have the baby up high on your sternum, not low on your belly. You want to have the baby close enough that you can kiss their head. You want to be able to see the baby's face so that you know that they're getting fresh air. You want to be able to get some fingers under their chin, and that way you know that their head isn't collapsed onto their chest and their spine isn't curving up too much, because then it's really hard for them to breathe. Babies, when they breathe, they don't snore. They don't make wheezing noises. They shouldn't struggle to breathe at all. It should just be a very natural, clear breath, so check for that. And if they are struggling to breathe, you need to make an adjustment. The sling should be tight like a bandage. They should be swaddled very closely to you. If you can press on their back and they'll uncurl a little bit, it's not tight enough. You want to have them, snug to you, and if you bend over, you don't want them to be able to swing away from you. It should be really, really snug and tight. And they should just be in their natural position, exactly the way they would be if you were holding them. Spine straight, and then legs in a sort of spread, squat position, like little frog legs. Their bottom will be here, the thighs will come up to their knees, and then the calves and feet will come out from that. So it kind of looks like an M. If you were to trace from their feet to their knees to their bottom, you'd have an M shape. You want to have the baby's knees all the way tucked into the bottom rail. They should be, it's like they're sitting, so their knees will be up high, and you don't want to have the bottom rail along the backs of their thighs. It actually needs to be tucked up deeply underneath you, making a seat for the baby, and have their knees, if this were the bottom rail, their knee would be right in there, and that's going to support them all the way along, all the way from, you know, the entire length of their thigh. That's what you're looking for. They should look like they're in a chair, not in a parachute. Now to get them out, all you need to do is just loosen it up a little bit. Holding them, you peel the fabric away and lift them up. If it's something that you prefer to do, you can lift the fabric up this way and pop them out that way. So yeah, so go ahead and get started and have a great time. It'll take some practice. Anybody can learn how to do this. Look in the mirror when you're doing it, practice over a soft surface, and have a ball. It's going to make your life so much easier, I promise.